Cheers, everyone. When in Rome. My fat ass got stuck. Caitlin's getting married. I don't know how this has happened because I just finished the video up there. Thought I was from Australia. So you can end it. Bye. Morning. So it's the morning after now, obviously. We stayed for a few more cocktails last night. It was a lot of fun, and it's super cool because our hotel is literally a 3 or 4 minute walk from River Street where we were. Anyway, we've come for breakfast at a place called the Little Duck Diner, and it's so cool. It's like a very retro, but kind of Art Deco-y, I suppose, take on a diner. It's an old building that it's in, and it's really, really cool inside, and we're gonna get some breakfast and some coffee. I've come out because as it's like a very industrial ceiling, very high, it's very echoey in there. It's quite noisy because there's a lot of people in there, and also they're playing a lot of copyrighted music. So I came outside to try and avoid all that. But in the real world, we're actually inside at the moment. We're not outside at all. So breakfast was absolutely delicious. It was Little Duck Diner. I highly recommend it. The staff were great. The food was good. It wasn't too expensive. It's a really nice atmosphere inside there. We just came back down to River Street where we were last night because it's a really beautiful day and there's a nice breeze down here. So we were just kind of walking off breakfast. We have a few things that we want to go do today. The first place we want to go is a place called Jones Street, which is considered the prettiest street in Savannah, and apparently has a claim to be one of the prettiest or most appealing in the entire United States. So that'd be cool. I've seen some pictures of it. I want to go take some photos. They've got these huge live oak trees that have kind of grown into a canopy covering the entire street, and there's loads of Spanish moss. Just very pretty, and you can go out there and take a look at that. This boat behind me is a proper river boat. It's called the Georgia Queen, and you can take like trips up and down the Savannah River. I think you can also pay to go on it and like have brunch or breakfast and while you're on it, which is pretty cool. It's like the one at Magic Kingdom, but a whole lot bigger. So yeah, we're just gonna head off and start exploring, and I suppose take you guys along with us. Happy Independence Day to any American people that might be watching this video. I hope you have a great weekend and you're getting to celebrate it with the people you love the most. Obviously being British or English, the day doesn't resonate with me quite the same way as it does with you guys. You know, obviously Jen is American, so it's a special day for the country, so I hope everyone's having a great day. And kind of in line with that, down here on River Street by the river, this Purple Heart Memorial, and it's effectively it's a World War II memorial to commemorate the lives that were lost from all the soldiers that lived in a specific county. This county, it's Chatham County here in Savannah, and it's kind of this globe that's been split in two, and within it here are plaques with the names of soldiers, and then surrounding the memorial in these bricks, each of these bricks has the names of all of those soldiers too, and yeah, there's a lot of them. Jen's dad has worked, or had worked, in the cotton industry for many, many years. He worked at a cotton gin, and they would bale cotton down in Texas. And Jen was telling me that this entire area, Jen's on the phone, this entire area, you see these really old buildings up here. These used to be, I guess, warehouses, you call them? And all the baled cotton would be stored here. It'd be stored in all these, what were then warehouses, I suppose, and then shipped over to England. So this is your cotton baling moment. lost Jen. I was filming something and I turned around and Jen had walked off. And I think I've tracked her down to this place here. It's called Bird's Famous Cookies. It's this huge cookie store that I've never heard of, but it seems to be extremely popular. And apparently they do a Georgia peach cookie, and they call it there she is. Hi.
It's so southern, I love it.
It's what?
It's so southern.
Do you feel more ingrained in your people here? It's apparently a famous cookie store, and it's really cool. Oh, I like these tins. These are cool. So they do this Georgia peach cookie. It's called the unofficial cookie of the state, and obviously peaches are what Georgia is known for. We're gonna try it, but yeah. Anytime Jen goes missing, look for the nearest food establishment. Okay, so Jen's about to try the famous Georgia peach cookie. Is it good?
Really good. It does.
I'm gonna try it. Oh, it's really crumbly.
Isn't it so good?
It literally tastes like a crunchy peach. Just been totally schooled by the lovely guy that gave us the samples. So Bird's Cookies clearly is very famous, and they started here in Savannah. They have a couple of stores out in Nashville, one down near Florida, so we have to look out where that one is, Jim. It's one in Florida and one in Charleston, I think, but it all started here in Savannah. And there's this wall here with numbers on it. They bake 2 billion cookies a year, 500,000 cookies per hour, 18 tons of cookies per shift. Oh, we're getting these.
Yeah, I'm not leaving the store without them.
Well, that's lunch taken care of. I think we've officially walked on breakfast now. I'm feeling pretty good. I need to reiterate, if you've never tried a peach cookie before, you need to come and try one of these peach cookies. The guy was saying that the dough and the powdered sugar that goes on it are made with real peach, like fresh peach juice. And Jen was like, oh, we'll take these back. They're not going to make it back. But yeah, I mean, it's so cool down here. It's just very chill. It's a good mix because on that side you've got a kind of some dive bars and some more hole-in-the-wall saloon type things, and on this side there's very fancy like restaurants, coffee shops, rooftop bars. That up there is the Electric Moon, which is the bar Jen and I were at last night, and it had like great views of the sunset over there. A municipal cemetery, and it was opened back in the 1800s, and I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe parts of it are still open today for burials, and it's so beautiful out here. It's just covered in aged live oak trees, which are like Spanish moss hanging off them. It's so atmospheric and beautiful, and it's so peaceful out here. You can just hear the cicadas, the birds. It's beautiful. It's absolutely huge. It's like 160 acres, I believe. And if you were to come out here and visit, obviously you wouldn't walk that, but you can drive to different sections. And they also offer a service where a guide will take you around on a golf cart and explain a bit about each area. Now, I'm walking through the Jewish section at the moment. And the Jewish section of the cemetery started in the 1900s, and it has its own entrance, which you would expect. And I was walking through and I was actually struck by, oh, there's no flowers. Well, pretty much no flowers on the headstones. They're actually stones. And I kind of remembered my loose weave knowledge. I believe there's a few theories as to why that's the case, but the ones I was aware of was twofold. Like, one, stones last longer than flowers, but also it's to do with keeping the soul in this world, like weighing the soul down so the soul stays in this world. And there was a theory, I believe, about not letting demons get in. I mean, isn't the most sacred place in Jerusalem a pile of stones, I believe? Piles of stones were used before headstones. I'm no expert, I'm just kind of remembering. But if anyone actually does know about it, it's just super interesting to me, like different rituals for people that believe in different things. And I don't need to talk about what I do and don't believe in, but theological discussion is super interesting. I'm going off on a tangent. If anyone knows the factual reasons, please let me know. But yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. Now, I do want to show it as best I can because it deserves to be seen. It's stunning. But I'm also aware that this is a very special place for obvious reasons, and there's a line between art and disrespect, I guess. So I'm going to do my best to put something together that I can edit later, and hopefully it'll work out. But I just want to make sure that when I look at the footage back, it's like, yeah, you know what I mean. But yeah, let me just pan around. It's beautiful. Okay, so I'm on the other side of the cemetery now, and perhaps what I said earlier about the stones was complete nonsense, because they had a section back there for people in the military that had lost their lives, and each of those headstones had a stone on it, and the entrance to that section had a lot of stones lined across the top of it. So perhaps I was wrong, or perhaps it's also something to signify someone that was lost in battle. I'm not entirely sure. It's something I need to figure out. But again, if you know, let me know. So I think anxiety and self-doubt go hand in hand, and they're two things I struggle with daily as a byproduct of something else, which is not important. But I mean, a lot of people suffer from anxiety, and I think a year on YouTube has highlighted how much that kind of controls me at times. The excitement to make something and the creativity that I have to get what's in here out in one way or another is always there, but it's kind of in equal parts with this isn't good enough, that looks bad, you didn't do this well enough, you look terrible on, you know, all those things. And the year on YouTube has definitely highlighted how much they play a part in my life, because I can get so excited with an idea in the afternoon, and I'll plan it and I'll write it down and I'll think of all these things I'm going to do, and then I wake up in the morning and I'm already telling myself it's going to be terrible before I've even begun doing it. And I think being on YouTube has, in a good way, like, definitely made me step back and see, wow, like, you need to address certain things. So yeah, I think that's like a positive about a negative, if that makes sense. I think that my head's always bursting with ideas. It doesn't necessarily mean for making videos or taking pictures. It can be anything, like, Jen, let's go here, let's eat that, let's cook this. I start a million things and rarely finish them. And I feel like that, coupled with the self-doubt, it's like a tug of war between, I've got this really good idea, I think I could make it good, versus no, it's going to be terrible. And those two are always at odds with each other. So I think the year on YouTube has definitely made me find new ways of dealing with that, which is a positive. It's also a negative because you have to really, like, tear yourself down again to be like, oh, well, this is wrong and that's wrong. But it's definitely a negative that's formed a positive, because I definitely step back more and try and try and deal with things a bit better. So I'm grateful for that. That obviously then leads into this consistency issue where I've realized on YouTube you have to be consistent. Even if you're uploading a video every week or every 2 weeks even, consistency is key for something as growth. If you want the channel to grow, you want more people to see, you have to be consistent. That said, I've learned that I definitely am a full advocate of quality over quantity. That's not to say that my videos are all quality, but it's how I justify the lack of quantity sometimes. But I think that consistency is key, and the issue I have is that not a lack of ideas. I have ideas about doing things all the time. It's just goes back to that self-doubt of it kind of, I procrastinate on editing. Like, I can go out and film a ton in a day. I can never start editing the same day. I just haven't got to that point where I can come home and edit. I come home and I'm like, cool, that's all done. And I'll look at editing, and then I might look at it the next day. And that's all part of workflow. It's part of confidence. It's part of getting used to something. I didn't own a camera before last March. I made a YouTube video a year ago. So like, this is all very new to me. So part of it's like a workflow thing, an actual process thing I need to work out. And then part of it comes back to that like self-doubt thing. So yeah, I'm not consistent enough, but you know, like, I'm making this video having filmed everything to make an Epcot video, and in the back of my mind I'm like, oh my god, I haven't edited the Epcot video, and yeah, it's a mess. But I think it's improving. I haven't got a lack of ideas. I've got more ideas than I have time to create them, but I'm not a full-time YouTuber. This is not my full-time thing. Anyway, so that was Bonaventure Cemetery. I could have spent a lot, well, we did. We spent a few hours here actually. Obviously just didn't film everything. It's so relaxing. It's absolutely beautiful out here. I love the Gothic feel to a lot of it. The statues of the Virgin Mary, and there's crypts and there's tombs, and then I was over in the Jewish section, which is far less ornate, which is, you know, is how it is. The trees are beautiful. It's just really beautiful, which sounds a bit macabre to say how nice and beautiful and tranquil it was to be in a cemetery for a few hours. But I guess, if nothing else, that's what cemetery is kind of supposed to be. I would highly recommend coming out here and spending 2 hours. It's really beautiful. But I am absolutely melting. Jen and Luna went back to the car whilst I was finishing up, and they both fell asleep. I made them jump when I got in the car. We're going to head back into Savannah now, drop Luna off because she's been out all day with us and she's knackered. Drop her off, and then we're going to go out and maybe get an ice cream and a beer, and then go from there. So check this out. Okay, so this is West Jones Street, listed as Savannah's prettiest street, and apparently up there for one of the United States' most pretty streets. Pretty spectacular, to be honest. It's got all of these live oak trees that canopy from both sides of the road, and there's all this really pretty Spanish moss hanging off of them. And it's got this like nice cobbled streets, and then these got these really, really quaint sort of townhouses. It's really, yeah, it's really, really pretty. I mean, it kind of feels like a muse in London a little bit with the townhouses and stuff. It doesn't feel like London, but it's kind of comparable to like one of the muses that you might find in London. But these trees are stunning. I really, really like Spanish moss. There's biscuits. Luna. Hey, sit. Good girl. Oh, Luna's found a friend. What do you think of this place?
That one's for sale.
That's for sale. Jen.
Always shopping.
Yeah, so West Jones Street, it's right in the historic district. It's just over from, no, that way, just over from really beautiful looking cathedral. And we're gonna probably go over there now. There's a coffee shop over there, I think. I fancy a nice coffee, maybe ice cream. I really want an ice cream. So yeah, this is Jones Street. It's really, really pretty. 5-minute walk from where we just were on West Jones Street is this really nice little area called Lafayette Square. And it's like just a really quaint green, like little park, I guess, in the middle of some houses and some little coffee shops, and there's a hotel. And it's quite nice. There's a little fountain in the middle where there's a lot of talk ticking and chat snapping and all that good stuff going on. More of these pretty trees with a Spanish moss, some people chilling out on benches and stuff. And then just here is this pretty spectacular cathedral. I believe this is the Cathedral Basilica of St. John the Baptist. It's pretty spectacular. And what I love about like this whole area being so historic and so old is that you have this magnificent cathedral up here. You have this magnificent cathedral up here. Yeah, you have these little houses just opposite it. It's really beautiful. It's not open, and the coffee shop opposite is also not open. And so on we go. But if you want to come see the cathedral, Lafayette Square. So we're down on the Riverwalk again. It's really, really busy. So it's a beautiful sunset yet again, going down over the bridge. It's really, really busy down here. All along the water's edge, people have brought down their like picnic chairs and coolers, and everyone's starting to like set up their spot for the fireworks and having a drink. There's a live band playing down the way there. There's like kids playing little mini golf over here. It's a really good atmosphere. Everyone's kind of out and about. It's a lot busier than last night, as you'd anticipate being a holiday weekend. So we're gonna just go up to a rooftop bar and get some food and have a couple of drinks and see where we go from there. Okay, so there's been a little bit of a change of plan. We went up onto the rooftop bar from last night and we got up there no problem. There was plenty of space, but they have changed it. They've moved all the tables out, so there was nowhere to sit and eat. And the way the bar's set up, there wouldn't have been really any way of filming, and it's even noisier than last night, so there would have been literally no way you could hear anything, and we wouldn't have been able to finish the video. So, change of plan. We've come down and found a space on the water's edge. We have terrible, they only had Corona Premier, the little thing I went to, but they did have a ton of street tacos. So we got tacos and beers. We set up and we're just going to enjoy this. So this might be the last thing we film, I guess. And we're going to try and... My hair is wet. We're just going to enjoy a few drinks, watch the fireworks, and try and capture some of it. So
this is like dinner number 1.
Yeah, there'll be more dinners later. So if this is the last thing we film, see ya.